It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
What it do? What it do? Welcome to another episode of Let's Bet It. Um, got 5 games on the slate today. I'm gonna try to get through them here in about the next 25 minutes. Games start a little early today, 1 o'clock. Um, so we didn't have a show yesterday. I feel like the last show, my best bet was Mercury -2.5 for the first half. Didn't work out. They lost the game outright. I had them first half full game and really thought that was a spot for them to get right, but didn't happen. So we move on to the day. I do have another 2-leg plus money parlay that I'm going to give out during the show. Last one hit that we gave out, and I also post this play on. I'm going to be posting this play on on Twitter as well, so you'll be able to check it out there. But as a matter of fact, I'm not going to post it on Twitter until it gets closer to game time. I want you guys to listen to the show and get it here first. So let's get into the first game, and this number is actually moved. It just moved. Fever at Sun. This line just moved to Sun +6, just as we were getting on air here. So total still sitting at 166.5. Fever are coming off, and I've made a couple of plays in this game. I took the Fever in the first half -3.5, and I took it -6.5, but it looks like it just moved. So you can get you can get a -6 on FanDuel. But here's my reasoning for the Fever, especially in the first half. So the last 5 games, they are the second rated offensive. They have the second best offensive rating in the first half, the last 5 games. But in the second half, that dips down to 11th. So it's like they just don't put together complete games. They start off, fast in the first half, and really in the second half, they just, for whatever reason, I don't know if teams can figure them out. I mean, they are lacking a true point guard, but in the second half, that offensive efficiency just, it just drops. So, but this is why I like them. I like them first half, and I like them full game. I feel like there's going to be a sense of urgency for the Fever to come out and play a complete game. They dropped 2 at home that they shouldn't have against Dallas and Washington. You just can't lose those games, especially when you are in the thick of a playoff race. And these are against 2 non-playoff teams. But now, if you look at their schedule after this game, their next 6 games, 4 of them are on the road, and 4 of them are on the road, or 6 games. 4 are on the road. 6 are all against. They're all against playoff teams, and I'll run these down to you. So after this game against Connecticut, they've got Minnesota on Friday. Now, they'll have 5 days off, but they've got Minnesota. They're in Minnesota. Oh, no, they're home against Minnesota on Friday, in Minnesota on Sunday. At home, back home versus Seattle on the 26th, and then in LA, in Golden State, and Phoenix, 3-game road trip. So they've got a tough schedule ahead of them. And I just really think that they're going to come out today, like I said, with a sense of urgency and really play a complete game. I know the Sun have been playing a little bit better, but I mean, they're 6-26 for a reason. And I just really think, off of these 2 losses at home, that the Fever are going to come out and play with a sense of urgency from start to finish. All right, let's hit the next one. Sparks at Mystics. And this one just moved too. This was 3.5, but it's moved down to 2.5. Mystics getting 2.5 at home. Total still sitting at 172. I like this. I like the Sparks in this spot too. I'm really starting to look at some of these really starting to look at some of these playoff scenarios, and that's kind of factoring into my cap. And with this one here, if you look at the standings, the Sparks are just a game ahead of the Mystics. Sparks sitting at 15 and 17, the Mystics at 14 and 18. But obviously the Sparks are and the Mystics are kind of I think headed in different directions. It looks like the Sparks are playing more to get in the playoffs, while the Mystics with Trayton and Brittany Sykes are looking a little bit more toward the future. But I believe so, with the Sparks being a game ahead of the Mystics, and also if the Sparks win this game today, they will clinch the season series against the Mystics as well. So I think, once again, I think the sense of urgency is going to be there. It's going to be there for LA. LA is one play that I do like in this game that I'm probably going to get to the window with is the Sparks first half team total over 42 and a half. I mean, they've been lighting up the scoreboard aside from that 59 point, just beat down that they, took in Golden State. They have, they're routinely in the 90s going over in the first half as well. The last 10 games, they're averaging 44 points per game in the first half. I know the Mystics, play slow, but the Sparks are last 5 games second in pace, third in effective field goal percentage. They're getting to the offensive rebounds a lot. So I just like this spot for LA, and I like that the numbers came down. If I was going to play it, like I said, that 2.5 looks real good, but I really, really like that Sparks first half team total over 42 and a half. I believe you can get that on DraftKings. And I want to make sure that I didn't miss. Let me give you 1 second. I just want to make sure I got my parlay here together. Also, in that Fever and Sun game, we're going to go back to that. And then Can't Stop has got a play in that one. He likes the first half. Fever first half team total under 43 and a half. And the lock of the day, Sophie Cunningham to be smoking hot, minus 1 million. As you all know, Can't Stop has a huge crush on Sophie Cunningham. If he hasn't told you already. But so back to that Fever game. The first leg of my plus money parlay today is Marina Mabrey under her 1.5 threes. She's under this in 8 of her last 10, 70% on the season. The Fever are the second best at defending guards from the 3-point line. I believe head to head. So 2 games against Indy, she had 4 in the first meeting on May 30th, but 0 in the next meeting on June 17th. So Marina Mabrey under her 1.5 threes is the first leg of the 2-leg plus money parlay for today. All right, let's get into the next one. Wings at Aces. This actually just moved too. This had been sitting at I think it opened at Wings plus 10.5 or either plus 10. I know it got bet down to 9.5 because I saw that maybe yesterday. Now it's back up to 11. I know GOB has a really good system on this. I'm gonna read it to you. I don't know if he's tuned in or not. But let me go to that trend real quick. And this is actually a trend that heavily favors the Wings, and I'm with it too. I'm probably gonna play it. But GOB said fade double-digit home faves off a win as a road dog. 23-5 ATS. That tells you to take the Wings. The line is moving the other way, and I agree with this trend, because if you look at what the Aces have been doing, they've had some big wins, during their winning streak. They've beaten Golden State. They've beaten Golden State twice. They beat Phoenix the other night. They beat New York. They beat Seattle. Even though Seattle, they're still in that playoff hunt. So ever since that beat down they took in Minnesota, they haven't lost a game yet, and they also have a big game at home on Tuesday against Atlanta. So I could see kind of like, them maybe overlooking the Wings a little bit and allowing, maybe a backdoor cover at the end. I'm not sure, but I think the Wings could keep it within 11. Haven't played it yet, but strongly for me, and especially given that trend for the Wings. Okay, yep. So I think that's all I got on that game. Let's hit this next one. Mercury at Storm. If my banner will work, there we go. Mercury at Storm. Storm laying a point at home. Total sitting at 165.5. I don't have any real opinions on this game. I hate both of these teams. They've taken my money this week, so really don't have a ton on the game. This game actually, I do have Can't Stop Date Night with Jackie tonight, so looks like he's going under, I think. Are you going over or under, bro? But Mercury is Storm. Storm laying a point at home. Total sits at 165.5. Like I said, I don't have anything on this game, but I do have the second leg of my 2-leg plus money parlay, and that's once again going back to Brittany Sykes under her threes. She's under this in 8 of her last 10. Last 20 games, 85%, 83% for the season. She's not a 3-point shooter. Doesn't take a ton of them. She'll take 3 a game. So I really like her to stay under her 1.5 threes. And with the Mabry play, the Mabry under her threes, you can get this. You can get this on FanDuel at plus 131. So Marina Mabry under her 2.5 threes, Sykes under her 1.5 threes, plus 131 on FanDuel. All right. Can't Stop said over for Jackie. And I could see that the Wings don't play no defense, so she could definitely have a big game, especially now that they're bringing Jewel Lloyd off the bench. I think that is, kind of increasing Jackie's usage with the first unit. So definitely can see it. Appreciate the play there. Can't Stop. All right. Last one of the day, Dream at Valkyries. This opened at Valkyries getting 5.5 at home. It's been bet down to Atlanta minus 3.5. Atlanta's looked like a championship caliber team, the last, week or two. Even with Jordan Canada going down, they're still, playing at a high level. They did take the L against Seattle in the Vancouver game the other day, but they've just looked is about as good as you can in the W. Probably the best team, probably the last week in the W, if you ask me. So the total I think it opened at 155.5. It's been bet down to 152, and I can see it. Both of these teams play slow. Both of these teams are defensive teams. The Valkyries at home are just always tough. Are always tough to play against on the defensive end. They're physical. They get in you. And the Dream are an exceptional defensive team as well. So haven't played anything on this game. Don't really have much in the way of props. These two teams just play such good defense. This will probably be one that maybe I'll watch and maybe live bet, if possible. So we'll move over to the best bet of the day. And for me, it was the first game I talked about, the Fever and the Sun. I think, with the Fever losing those 2 games at home against Dallas and Washington, and then, considering what they have coming up schedule wise with the 6 playoff teams, 4 of them on the road, I think this is a spot where the Fever come out with a sense of urgency. And I love the first half, minus 3.5. It might have went down since the spread has moved from 6.5 to 6, but that's my best bet of the day. Is the Fever first half minus 3.5. One game tomorrow, the Liberty and Lynx again. And I think this one will be in New York. Haven't really looked at it, but, if that one's going to be a toss-up for me. But I know Tuesday is going to be a big slate. We should have Can't Stop and hopefully Gio be in with us on Tuesday. But until then, best of luck on all your plays. And I'm out. Peace out. Enjoy your Sunday.
If you broke, try to have a nice day. If you're fat, try to have a nice day. If you're skinny, try to have a nice day. If you got a big head, try to have a nice day. If your mama's ugly, try to have a nice day. If your daddy whoop your ass, try to have a nice day. If a dog bites you in the ass, bite him back and try to have a nice day. Try to have a nice day. See, that's my theme. Try to have a nice day. I'm about to leave right now and go try to have me a nice day. All right. Try to have a nice day.